The Nikon Z50 has a 21.51 megapixel APS-C sensor, shoots up to 120 frames per second in HD internally, and has an impressive video autofocus tracking system. But there are some drawbacks. Chris here from Videomaker. I again am like a shaggy dog, so I'll keep my face from you. We're reviewing the Nikon Z50 today. If you're a video shooter, this is the last review you need to watch. We've got you covered. If you want to skip to any part of this video, we'll have time coded in the description for you. Also, if you like this video, give us a like and subscribe. Tell us what you would shoot with the Z50 in the comments. We'll pin the best response. I'm calling you out. If you're watching this video right now, I'm talking to you. This is the first APS-C or DX format mirrorless camera offered by Nikon, coming after their first two mirrorless cameras, the Z6 and the Z7. It shares the same lens mount, but what other features carry over? At $860, it makes a great entry for Nikon, giving it big advantages over the similarly priced mirrorless from Canon, but not nearly as feature-rich as Sony and Fujifilm's offerings. The Z50 offers 420 8-bit video at up to 144 megabits per second in UHD 4K. It captures up to 120 frames per second in HD and 30 frames per second in 4K. It doesn't have a headphone jack and has a micro HDMI output with the same as the internal capture of 8-bit. You might ask, what is the main differences between the Z50 and the Z6? Well, there are some major differences between the two cameras. The first is the price. The Z6 is more than double the Z50 at $2,000, although it's on sale often. Next is the size and weight. The Z50 is a smaller body and weighs less. Additionally, because of the smaller size, the Z50 has fewer external controls, moving many features to touch control on the side of the monitor. The Z50 has both a smaller EVF with a lower resolution, and although the monitor is the same size, it has half the resolution of the Z6. One of the things that the Z50 has that the Z6 doesn't, it's a screen that flips down so you can see yourself when shooting a selfie or blog. The video features between these two cameras couldn't be further apart. Although both capture 8-bit video internally, the Z6 offers 10-bit out its HDMI, or for an additional $200 upgrade, it can output 12-bit. The two cameras have different batteries, and the Z50 shoots to SD over the Z6 QHD. Both cameras only offer one media slot with an internal record limit time of 29 minutes 59 seconds. Although the Z50 has the large Z lens mount, the body is small. The camera doesn't offer any high frame rates in 4K, but it does have a healthy offering in HD. You're able to shoot up to 120 frames per second for either real-time playback captured with audio and real-time slow-mo playback, which conforms the high frame rate to a slower one. However, there is no sound recording when capturing this way. The Z50 only has 5 stops of dynamic range. We weren't expecting a lot, but this is not very much at all. The camera has rolling shutter. It's far from jello, but it could be better. The Z50 has a nice sharp image that's good for many things. It's also so sharp that it has some moire with fine lines. The Z50 has the large Z lens mount. It's a great mount, but completely unnecessary for the smaller sensor. Nikon does offer the essential lenses in the Z mount, and they are reasonably priced when compared to Sony or Canon. There isn't many third-party lens options, but there are some. However, they're all primes. There are currently two Nikon Z mount lenses that are made for the DX sensor size. However, both of them have a variable aperture depending on the field of view you shoot. The almost pancake Nikon Z DX 16 to 50mm f3.5 to 6.3 VR lens costs $300. Will need to be extended to shoot, but it's compact with a nice focal range. But shooting at telephoto side of it will cost you a lot of light. With the crop factor, that lens has an effective focal length of 24 to 75. The other DX Nikon lens is the Z DX 50 to 250mm f4.5 to f6.3 VR lens. That's a huge throw. With the crop factor, it has an effective focal length of 75 to 375mm. Between the two lenses, you would have a focal length for most shooting. The big kicker for both lenses is the changing maximum aperture across the throw of the lens. If you'd like to use f-mount lenses, the F to Z adapter is $250, but you can find it on sale often. It's not cheap. However, if you already have a set of f-mount lenses, or you just want a bigger selection of lenses to choose from at a wide array of prices, it could be a good option. The autofocus performance on the Z50 is surprising. When using a 24-inch slider when pushing in on a Lego figure, it tracked very well. To test the low light performance of the Z50, we did an ISO ramp from ISO 100 up to ISO 25600 to see at what point noise was introduced into the picture. Noise begins at ISO 800 and is usable to ISO 3200. The noise doesn't start to color shift till ISO 6400, but there's plenty of noise there nonetheless. The new battery in the Z50 is the ENEL25. Extra batteries will set you back $70, and currently no other camera shares the battery. Over 2 tests, we saw an hour and 12 minutes and an hour and 15 minutes. This lines up exactly with the CEPA rating, which is 75 minutes. For still shooters, expect 320 shots with live view using the rear monitor and 280 shots when using the EVF. A nice feature in the Z50 is that you're able to power the camera from a USB port. This also allows the camera to be a battery charger as well. During our test of the battery and all other tests, we saw no overheating whatsoever. The Z50 is reasonably priced and doesn't disappoint. We were super impressed by the autofocus system. It performed very well. We would have liked it to have more dynamic range, but for the price, it's acceptable. Its low light performance is okay, but a bit below most mirrorless cameras. The lens selection for the DX format is limited, but there are lots of affordable Nikkor primes. The Z50 is a great entry-level camera and would be a great B camera to the Nikon Z6. So, what do you think? Did we get it right? Tell us in the comments below. I've been Chris from Videomaker. Thanks for watching.
Continued learning and practice, as well as taking refreshers on the basics, will help keep your skills sharp. Check out our video courses to stay on top of your game. Find a course by visiting videomaker.com/courses or click the link in the description.